How many of you approach your physical training as a little bit of a, I don't know, a metaphor for the rest of your life? You know what I mean? That you train because you want to train, you want to see what you're capable of, or you train so that you know that you can endure things, or you train whatever. Some of you, how many of you train just because you just love the feeling of moving? All right, that's a lot of you. Now that actually confuses the hell out of most of your clients because they don't understand that. And that's tough. But remember, you got into this business because you like it. A lot of times we're actually dealing with people who don't. How many of you find your stamina taxed on a daily basis working with clients? Yeah? How many of you, and again, this is I've been pacing around like, it's kind of caged animal trying to decide how deep to go right away. So we're just going to dive in, all right? How many, if you don't have to raise your hand if you don't want to, but how many of you actually have considered leaving this profession because you find working with people so exhausting? Okay, I see a lot of hands going up and a lot of people nodding their head. One of the things that I found over the course of looking at the health and fitness industry, the healthcare industry, is that most people go into health and fitness and healthcare because they like helping people. And at some point, a lot of people burn out in the helping professions because they find it exhausting to care so much. Correct? So stamina is an interesting class because we're going to look at it in a lot of different ways. We're going to approach stamina from a physical perspective. We're going to do a lot of breathing work. We're going to look at kind of pain, how pain influences us. One of the things I'm hoping, and if you want to write something down out of this first hour, probably the thing that you want to write down to remember is that your experiences of pain and your experiences of fatigue are a habit. Okay? That is the first thing that I want you to understand. As it comes through as we start looking and digging into the research, one of the things that's most interesting to me is that people quit doing anything or everything because they have habituated themselves into quitting at that time. One of the most interesting pieces of research when it comes to like the respiratory system is that if you take someone and you do to them what Sam was describing that he did to himself, you put them in on a cycle ergometer and you actually have them pedal to absolute exhaustion. Right? I'm not talking about pedaling for hours. I'm saying we're going to do a high intensity cycling exercise. I want you to pedal to absolute exhaustion, and we're looking at your lungs and all this stuff. Whenever people feel completely breathless, does everyone understand that you're not completely breathless? Right? That there's still air available. The problem is that we have these reflexes and these systems that set in place, and we develop them over time. And this comes down to not just your experiences of pain, but your experiences of breathlessness, etc. So we're going to play around with a lot of that. I hope that what you will leave this class with is an understanding of what your habitual barriers are, and a lot of tools to go, okay, if this is my habitual quitting spot, are there ways that I can not quit just then? Does that make sense? Because that is really, to me, one of the most interesting pieces of all of this.
See, lunging is useful.
That was not good.
You should be.
Okay, all right.
12 seconds out of my life.
All right.